Hello children, so today we are going to learn the second poem of your Flamingo book, that is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and the poem is composed by Stephen Spender, right? So today we are going to learn this poem. So the title of this poem is An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum, and the poem is composed by Stephen Spender. So before we actually start discussing something about the poem, let us know about this poet. So who is this Stephen Spender? So Stephen Spender is an English poet. He is a novelist and essayist who was born in 1909 and then he left us in the year 1995. He has concentrated this poem. In this poem, he has concentrated on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities. Stephen Spender was very keen to join politics, and he announced himself to be a socialist and pacifist. And through this poem, through the slum children, he attacks those people who are exploiting the poor section of societies. So whatever I have said about the poet, let me write for you, because you know these points are really important, so that you can use these points in writing in some of the answers of the poem. So first we are going to discuss about the poet Stephen Spender. So I am going to just write 2 points about Stephen Spender, and you will write these points in your notebook and you will learn all these things also, because here we are going to talk about Stephen Spender, who was Stephen Spender, and then the next poem, in the next point of this, I am going to write about the theme of this poem. So Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender was an English poet. He was also a novelist and essayist. He was also an essayist who concentrated on the themes of, and this is important, on the themes of social injustice, and class inequalities. This is important. This is the theme of this poem. So in this poem, Stephen Spender has concentrated on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities. The second thing, Stephen Spender was very keen to join politics. And he declared himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Pacifist means those people who believe in peace. Pacifist. Full stop. Through the slum children, he attacks those people who are exploiting the poor sections of society. Fine, children? So here we have just tried knowing and learning 2 points about Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender was born in 1909 and then he died in 1995. Fine children. So this is just now we have done about the poet. So the name of the today's poem is an elementary school classroom in a slum. It's composed by Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender was born in 1909 and he died in 1905. And then we have done 2 paragraphs, right, about Stephen Spender. Stephen Spender was an English poet. He was a novelist. He was an essayist who concentrated, right, mainly his theme of all his writings was on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities. So most of the work of Stephen Spender concentrated on the themes of social injustice and class inequalities, and the same theme even we find in this poem. Now there is another point we have discussed about Stephen Spender. It is Stephen Spender was very keen to join politics and he declared himself to be a socialist. He called himself to be a socialist and pacifist. Pacifists are those people who believe in, bringing peace and tranquility in the society, and socialists are those people who believe in equalities of the societies. For the socialist person, he doesn't want to see the unequal distribution of the wealth in the society. And what does he want through this poem? Through the slum children, he attacks those people who are exploiting the poor sections of the society. And through this poem, he is attacking, Stephen Spender is attacking those people who exploit the poor sections of the society. Now children, we are going to get into the poem. So there are 4 stanzas, right? So today we will do with the first 2 stanzas. First stanza and second stanza. Fine. So the first stanza is about, in the first stanza it's talking about the children, the different children who come to attend the class, what is their mental conditions, what is their physical conditions. So this we are going to see. And the second paragraph talks about the classroom, the walls of the classroom, the different things which are on the display in the classroom, and what is the meaning of those things. Are those things which are in the display in the classroom, are they of any significance to these children or not? Is that clear children? And before we start, before I explain you the first paragraph, I am going to read the first paragraph, right? So that you may understand that this is the first paragraph. And after that I will explain, I will write the notes and explain it, and then I will move for the second paragraph. So the first paragraph it says, I am reading it. Far, far from gusty waves, these children's faces look rootless weeds, the hair torn round their collar, the tall girl with her weighed down head, the paper singing boy with rat's eyes, the stunted unlucky heir of twisted bones reciting a father's narrow disease, his lesson from his desk at the back of the big class, one unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. So this is the first paragraph. I have read it just now, and now I am going to explain you the first paragraph. Is that clear children? So we are going to do with the first paragraph. And in the first paragraph it's mainly, it said that who are the children who come to attend the class, what is the conditions of the children, right? So this is the first paragraph. So here in the first paragraph, the poet Stephen Spender describes the poor and pathetic condition of the children sitting in a classroom in a slum school. Fine. The first paragraph means that the poet Stephen Spender describes the poor and pathetic condition of the children sitting in a classroom in a slum school, right? Now here the students who are sitting, their faces are not like the faces of the normal children, right? Their faces are not like the faces of the normal children. They look weak and hungry, right? And the hair on their head is unkempt, is untidy, it's not managed, which looks like rootless weeds on their pale face, right? Whereas the other children, the life of the other children is full of energy. But here, the children sitting in this classroom, they look withered and lifeless. They look withered and lifeless. And as you know, and the children sitting in this classroom, they are not wanted by any of the section of the people, as the weeds are not wanted in any garden. Is that clear? And after that, the three children are described. One, there is a tall girl, and the other two boys are described, and then finally a small boy is described. So if I go on telling you things, you will not remember this. So I am just writing point wise, right? So we are now here discussing just about the first paragraph. So I am going to write in points so that it is easy for you to remember and you need to make a note of it, right? So in the first paragraph, Stephen describes the poor and pathetic condition of children sitting in a class in a slum school. Fine, student? So this is the meaning of this is how we can start knowing the meaning of the first paragraph. In the first paragraph, Stephen describes the poor and pathetic condition of children sitting in a class in a slum children. Here the faces of slum children. Here the faces of slum children are not like the faces of normal children. They look hungry and weak. They look hungry and weak. Their hair is untidy and unkempt, like rootless weeds. Rootless weeds, you understand? Weeds, you know which weeds are those unwanted plants which come out with the crops, which are not required in the field. So their hair is called, unkempt hair is called rootless weeds. On the rootless weeds lie scattered on their pale face, like pale face. Now the other normal children, right? Unlike the normal children, who are energetic and full of life, here The slum children, here the slum children are lifeless and withered. Is that clear, children? So what have we done so far? In the first paragraph, Stephen describes the poor and pathetic condition of children sitting in a class in a slum school. Here the faces of slum children are not like the faces of normal children. They look hungry and weak. Their hair is untidy and unkempt like rootless weeds which lie scattered on their face. Unlike the normal children who are energetic and full of life, here the slum children are lifeless and withered. And these slum children are not wanted by any people, not wanted in the society, the same way as a weed is not wanted in a garden. Have you understood the meaning of weed, children? Weed are those unwanted plants which come out with the other crops, and the farmer need to throw those weeds from the field because it affects the growth of the other plant. Similarly, these slum children are compared with the weeds, and they are not wanted by any people, by anybody in the society, as a weed is not wanted is not required in a garden. Is that clear? So that point I need to write, because these points when you write and keep in your mind, you will be able to answer any question asked in the examination. So one more point what can we write? We can write these slum children are not wanted. These slum children are not wanted in the society. The way weeds are not required in any garden. Is that clear, children? So here the slum children are compared with the weeds, and they said they are not wanted by anybody in the society, in the same way as a weed is not wanted by any farmer or any field or any garden. Is that clear? Now in the remaining part of the first stanza, the children are described. So there is a girl, there is a tall girl, she is depressed, her head is down, and she is burdened. She is overweight, burdened with the sad thoughts, and she is mentally and physically exhausted because of the poverty. Fine. So we are going to learn first of all about a tall girl, and after that few other boys, and at last there is a very young boy, small boy. So we are going to learn about these three children now in this following lines of the first paragraph. So children, there is a girl. There is a tall girl who is depressed. There is a tall girl who is depressed. Her head is down. She is overburdened with sad thoughts. She is physically and mentally exhausted due to poverty. Fine. So here we have learned about that tall girl. So what is written about that tall girl in the poem? That there is a tall girl who is depressed. She is depressed. There is a depression in her life. Her head is down. She is sitting with her head down. She is overburdened and there is so much of burden in her life. She is overburdened with what? With sad thoughts. Her mind is full of sad thoughts. And she is physically and mentally exhausted due to poverty. Fine? So there are given also some other details of some other children. So that we are going to learn now. Now there is a boy described in the poem who is as thin as a paper. He is so thin. And he has got a big eyes of a rat. So there is another boy, and the condition of all other children are more or less same as that of a girl, right? So the condition of all other children are more or less is the same as the condition of that girl is. So there is a boy. There is a boy who is as thin as paper, and he has got the eyes of a rat, right? And this is only because of, and this condition of his thinness, this condition is only because of malnutrition. Malnutrition means the boy is not getting enough to eat. Fine? So there is a boy who is as thin as a paper, and his physical condition is this only because of the malnutrition, means he is not getting enough to eat. And he has got the eyes of a rat, and the condition is only because of malnutrition. Now there is another boy. There is another boy who has inherited his father's arthritis disease. Arthritis disease is a disease, which causes inflammation of the bone, and then it causes pain in the bone. The bones are twisted. So there is another boy. There is another boy who has inherited means he got what he received from his father. He received from his father the illness and diseases. They have not inherited wealth and good name and education, nothing. What they have, the slum children, they have inherited from their parents, from the forefathers, is only the disease. So there is another boy who has inherited from his father arthritis disease, and inherited arthritis disease from his father, and because of the disease, his growth is stunted. Because of the disease, his growth is stunted and his bones are twisted. Fine, children. Because of this, because of what he has inherited from his father, his bones are twisted and he has a stunted growth. And stunted and his bones are twisted. He reads his lessons. He reads his lessons from his desk in a mellow but in a weak voice. Fine, children. So this is said about that boy. So there is another boy who is as inherited from his father arthritis disease, and because of that disease his growth is stunted and his bones are twisted. He reads his lessons from his desk in a mellow but in a weak voice. Now there is another boy. There is another boy, with a small boy. He is not noticed. He is unnoticed. Fine. He is unnoticed. There is another boy, and that boy is unnoticed. And that boy dreams of squirrels playing in a tree. And because the atmosphere of the class is so dull and so monotonous, that the atmosphere of the class fails to capture his attention. So this is written something about that class, a small boy. One more point is there. There is a small boy. There is a small boy who is unnoticed. There is a small boy who is unnoticed, right? And that boy, the boy dreams of squirrels. The boy dreams of squirrels playing in the trees, One more thing is there, the dull and monotonous atmosphere of the classroom fails to capture the attention of the child. Fine, children. So what is written in that small boy? There is a small boy who is unnoticed, who is not noticed by anybody. The boy dreams of squirrels playing in the tree. The dull and monotonous atmosphere of the classroom fails to capture the attention of the child. So this was all about the first paragraph only. Hence, once again I repeat what is given in the first paragraph, children. In the first paragraph, it is described the poor and pathetic condition of the children who come and study in that slum school, right? So it is there. It is also described their physical, mental conditions, and then it is also described 3 to 4 children who come to attend the class, in what mental conditions are there, in what physical conditions are there. So it is described. So I was only able to explain in this lecture only the first paragraph, and tomorrow I would make another lecture and there I would describe you the second paragraph, and this way we would finish this poem. Is that clear? Make all the notes of all these points which I have read, make notes of all these things and read the book. Is that clear? God bless you, children.